What if the secret to making better art isn't in perfectionism, but in letting go? In this video, I gave myself permission to embrace the messy and the imperfect. Instead of carefully planning and trying to get things right, I painted quickly, embraced the wobbly, and even tried painting with what might be considered the wrong tools to see what would happen. I have documented 4 different experiments to deliberately lose control over the process. The first one we're going to explore is working at speed. The second is in our tools, experimenting with unconventional tools. Number 3 is in looking, or rather, perhaps not looking. Number 4, we bring everything we've already explored together into a final painting, but we're going to be leaving that painting on a bit of a cliffhanger. At the end of this video, we will take a wee look through these messy and imperfect sketchbook pages together. A wee spoiler, this video is not about painting or drawing within the lines or within the rules. It's about shaking off perfectionism, leaning into creative play, and finding something alive and human in the process. If there's one thing that I do know about embracing freedom in your art, is that we don't always feel ready. Sometimes we have to just get started in the easiest way we know how. To begin this loosening up experience, to really embrace this sense of freedom, I hit a 5-minute timer on my iPad, grabbed a simple watercolour pencil and got stuck in. When we're looking to loosen up on purpose, we really have to just jump in with both feet. Hitting that timer can really help to silence the voice that tells us this isn't good enough, because there's quite simply no time to be thinking. That critical brain has no physical space to emerge, and that lets us get our boots off the ground and give things a go. I find that the more that I do these really quick timed practices, the less time I have to think, the more used I am to creating without judgment, and that practice of making without my inner critic on board really gives me a lot of confidence when it comes to working on bigger ideas. If you are trying to break that inner critic loop, I really can't recommend including the odd quick timed drawing into your sketchbook practice enough. It's really worked wonders for me and is one of my favourite ways just to break the ice, to warm up and invite that creative space without any self-imposed judgment. When my perfectionism emerges, it's usually because I am scared to get things wrong. So the more that I can practice and tell myself that wrong doesn't really exist, and that embracing mistakes will progress my art and my learning, the more fun I end up having. It's time to raid our kitchen cupboards, our garden, our tool shed for anything that could become a potential replacement for our paintbrushes. This one is my favourite for abandoning control and instead trading control for problem solving and creative flexibility. As you spotted from my tools introduction, the things I'm going to be exploring today are using the ends of my paintbrush. I've raided the kitchen drawers for my new favourite tool, which is currently a fork. We've also got a sprig of lavender to try drawing with, in amongst other things. I love using unexpected tools like this because they inevitably end up dropping paint in unexpected places and you have to problem solve in real time. When you get those unexpected drips, splatters, marks and lines, you have to embrace them and learn to see them as a texture. All of this wonkiness, this texture, it gets embedded into your painting, and instead of a group of mistakes, what you have is a painting filled with character. If you're new to my YouTube channel, I run an art club outside of YouTube over on Patreon. It's called the Outdoor Sketchbook Collective, and the whole point of it is to make more time and space for play. If you're thinking this texture exploration looks really fun, but you'd like a little bit more guidance, there is a workshop recording up on the platform for you to watch back right away. And if you're watching this at the time of me posting in early mid-September 2025, you're not too late to join this workshop live again. It's happening at the end of the month. I'll pop the dates on screen for you just now, and it would be really nice to see you there. It's a really fun and relaxing session to dive into your mark making tools with intention, to bring more depth, richness and variation to texture in your art. Like all of these exercises, the point is not in the final result, but in the practice itself. And what we're doing through each of these ideas is we're building our creative resilience, our openness to problem solving, and growing trust in our own instincts too. I always find that when I am tripping over myself, when I am stopping myself from just starting drawing, this prompt always helps me out and stops me from taking myself and my practice too seriously. This one is no peeking, and this just means we're not allowed to look at our sketchbook while we're drawing. I'm sure you've tried this before, but if you have caught yourself up in knots, not being able to just start sketching or painting again, do this for 30 seconds. More than likely you'll want to keep on going and delve into something else and just get that ball rolling. I'm going to be sketching looking at this beautiful scene of Loch Lubnig. It is one of my favourite lochs to swim in. I'm going to be looking at this on my laptop. I'm going to reposition so you can see that I'm not cheating, I'm not looking. And I've also chosen some materials which are deliberately messy and a little uncontrollable. I've got an ink-filled brush pen. I have a Inktense pencil in sepia, and which I will use with a little bit of water, I think. And I have a new Pitt pastel pencil, which is in I think it's an indigo. So all of these three things give quite an uncontrollable quality of line if you smudge them, if you add water to them, if you move them in certain ways. So that's going to help with this letting go. Okay, let's get set up. Demonstrating that you don't really need much space or anything fancy as a setup to allow yourself to just get going. A side of your sofa or a corner of a table works perfectly. Ta-da! I'm going to draw like this to you so that I can't see the sketchbook pretty much at all. I'm going to stick to 1 minute timed drawings for these because I think that'll be more than enough time to get completely lost on the sketchbook page. So let's go for that. We might find out that 30 seconds, not minutes, 30 seconds is even better. Let's see how we go. We're gonna go in with the big guns, straight in with the black ink. Okay, 1 minute, starting now. Okay, just check that I'm actually on. Oh, we're going over 2 pages, lovely. Okay, good stuff. What's going on? Where did I start? As soon as I have started this, I have realised this would be so much easier with a pencil, doing it with continuous line drawing. But this video is about being imperfect and messy, so I'm not going to pretend to you all that I didn't think about that sooner. And we're going to try that out next. Tell them we've got 18 seconds. Okay, 30 seconds is definitely the way to go here, because 1 minute's too long. Okay, that's 1 minute up. Let's have a look at what I've done. You know what? That's actually not so bad. I thought it was going to be way worse than that. Well, certainly not worse, but I wasn't expecting it to be quite as representational as it's turned out. So happy days. Okay, maybe the ink was a good choice. Let's try out the pencil now. Let's do 30 seconds this time. Pastel pencil. I'm still exploring how to use these pastel pencils. If you've got any tips for me, do let me know in a comment down below. If you have them and you love using pastel pencils, what you use them for. Ready? I'll try and keep it up a bit more this time. Okay, start. So if you haven't done a continuous line drawing before, it's just when you put the pencil on the page and you don't take it off until it's done, until the timer goes. I love doing these. I haven't actually done one in a while, but it's usually one of my favourite ways to warm up. And obviously this is not about creating a representational drawing, but just getting your eye familiar with the page and getting your hand moving. Okay, 30 seconds. This is what we did in 30 seconds. And actually that's really nicely simplified the shapes. I'm not actually that far off with the shapes of the mountains and textures of the trees, indication of the waterline and the shorefront. All in all, given what it is, not bad. Okay, let's go for one more because I want to try. I'm going to give myself a minute again. 1 minute, but using the ink tents and a brush with water to activate. Okay, I'm going to have it on my lap this time because it's going to be a bit easier. I'm not looking at the page, okay? I'm trying very hard to ignore my peripheral vision. Okay, 1 minute, go. There is that third experiment with the water, just marking out the darker values of where I could see them in the land, just obviously super fast. So there we have Prompt 3, prompt 3, no peeking, no looking at what you're doing, just go. Work really fastly, set yourself a quick timer, get a bunch of messy materials, and yeah, just get cracking. As you can see, I had a lot of fun with them. Okay, so we have had speed. We have had working with unexpected tools. We have had working without looking. And now we're going to bring all of those things together into one massive letting go session, into one painting. I'm brandishing these tools very enthusiastically here because these are my favourite unexpected tools I've been using in this video and lately. Fork has been like number one. You can see it's encased in paint. The other thing that we tried in this video, working with this branch. This is a little sprig of heather that's dried and has been making some beautiful line work. And the other thing I'm going to be using, again, I've been using a lot, is the end of my paint tubes, which make great scraper tools. So we're going to pull all of those things together into the last prompt, which is a cliffhanger. And cliffhanger is just stopping before you think the painting is finished. So I'm going to film an overhead of my process of creating this painting and stopping before I think it is ready. We're going to try and bring all of that looseness, all of that energy into this painting, see where on earth it takes us, and hopefully have a lot of fun along the way. Reminding ourselves that this video, these prompts, the idea behind this practice, it's not about making good art. It is about practicing to let go, allow yourself to let loose, allow myself to let loose, to bring that energy into the work. And slowly but surely, when we practice this alongside technical learnings and more serious things, those two things can come together into a really well-rounded approach, I think anyways. So that's the plan, that's the aim, that's the point of doing this. And most importantly, it is to have fun. So without further ado, let's get into it. Before we dive into a little sketchbook tour, a final look through these experiments, I wanted to leave you with a final prompt or invitation, and that is to make a little adaptation to these prompts so that they better suit what you love. I think the biggest benefit to letting go of perfectionism, it opens up space for us to play and experiment and find our own ways of doing things. So if you give any of these prompts a go, or you're thinking, I could do this, but try it that way, I would love to hear about it. Let me know what you're working on. Let me know if this sparks any more ideas for you to try out. Let me know in a comment down below. I absolutely love hearing about all things experimentation, about creativity, what you're working on. It's just so lovely to hear and see and, get inspired by. It is time for the grand reveal, a wee look through these final experiments together. While we have a look through my sketchbook, I just want to say a huge thank you. If you're still here, you're still watching, your support watching the video right the way through, it helps me get this video out in front of more people who also might get something out of it. I'd also like to say a huge warm thank you to the Outdoor Sketchbook Collective members. Your support directly makes this YouTube channel possible. I couldn't do this without you. Thank you so much, and I will see you outside.